Tom's
to the gas chamber, and then they modified the death penalty. Were you happy when that was done?
Was I happy when what was done?
When you found out that you weren't going to the gas chamber.
You're talking about dying. Now, it gets me nervous.
Why?
Did you have any thoughts about something? Was you wanting to go anywhere?
Were you happy when you found out you weren't going to go to the gas chamber, Charles?
I knew I wasn't going to go to the gas chamber because I hadn't done anything wrong.
You scared to die?
Sometimes I feel I'm scared to live. Living is what scares me. Dying is easy. How long have I been in jail? 34 years? 34 years, so...
Out of 47, you've been here 34.
I've been in jail, prison, a long time, all my life. I was raised up in here. So I understand jail. So I understand myself and I can deal with that. I sit in my cell and I do my number, like a convict does his number. But there's different colors on different people's backs doing different things. It's a different world. I love the world I live in too, just like Regan loves the world he lives in.
You love the world you live in.
Most assuredly, it's me.
You love all the pain that you've caused people, all the anguish you've caused.
I don't know pain. I don't know pain. I have no depth of pain. I have no depth of suffering. I don't know ridicule. I don't know all the bad things. I haven't been punished by you all my life since I was 10 years old. I've been in every reform school you got across the country and used to lay down and have to get my ass whipped till I couldn't walk. Tell me about some pain.
And that's our fault. That's all those people
No
want.
fault. Make strong, good pain. Understand pain. Not bad. Pain's not bad. It's good. It teaches you things. It teaches you things. Like when you put your hand in fire, you know not to do that again. Yeah. Yeah, I understand that.
Written accounts indicate that you told the authorities, don't let me out. I can't cope with the outside world. Do you have a recollection of that? And
you make a desperate plea out of something, man. There's no desperate plea out of it. I say I can't handle the maniacs outside. Let me back in.
I didn't use the word desperate. That's your word, Charles.
Yeah, well, your inflection and your voice tones were implications there.
Well, you use the word maniacs on the outside. How are you different from the maniacs on the outside? And why do you call them maniacs? Because you know something, they think you are one.
Yeah, it would reflect. If you hold the negative up to the light, you don't see the light, you just see the negative. So I'm a reflection of your negative, there's no doubt about that, and I can handle that also. I've been handling, ain't I?
I don't know, have you?
Well, I've been up and down these damn hallways, in and out of these nut wards for the last 10 years. You think you could follow that act? I'm playing for my life. You working for money.
When you say you're playing for your life, am I to assume that you think that someday you're going to get out of here?
Get out of here. Get out of here. Where would I go now? Let's see.
What would you do if you got out of here?
If I got out of here.
What if they said to you tomorrow morning, Charles, hey, listen, you're free. You can go wherever you want to go. Do whatever you want to do. What would you do?
I'll probably go out in front on the grass and sit down.
If you got out of here, there are a lot of people who think you'd go start killing people again.
Again? Well, you guys are misinformed. I haven't killed anyone. I didn't break the law. The judge knew that. But the people didn't want to hear it. The judge knew it. He washed his hands. He said, I know it, but what can I do? People want this.
Judge never said that. Yeah. Judge never said
That's what Older said.
No, Judge didn't say that.
He got off and shook their hands, didn't he? You're so white and pure.
Judge didn't say you were innocent.
Are you innocent?
Innocent of what?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
None of us are innocent.
Yeah, just because you're convicted in a courtroom doesn't mean you're guilty of something.
What does mean you're guilty?
When you know you're guilty.
What about Shay?
What about him?
Well, what about him?
He got killed.
Well, the word is you killed him.
Word is that you're an old woman. Word is you have turkey in the sky. Word is, I don't know what word is. Somebody else tell you that. I didn't tell you that.
Did you kill Shay?
Hell no.
Did you cut Hinman's ear off?
Hell yes.
How did that feel when you cut his ear off?
What did it feel like?
Yeah.
Well, I had done what he said for about 20 years. I'd done everything he told me to do. And I got to thinking, now, why don't this guy do something I tell him to do? And he said, no. I said, well, how comes I'm always doing what you tell me to do, but then you never do what I say do? And he said, well, blah, blah, blah. So I said, now you do what I say. And he said, no. I said, you do exactly what I say. And he said, no. I'm telling you. I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. You do exactly what I say. And that's about the extent of it. All this occult, all that hocus pocus stuff that you guys are playing, I don't know nothing about all that.
You know nothing about something called helter skelter. Tell me, Charles, I don't know.
It's a fairy. It's worse than a fairy tale.
It's a fairy tale.
It's a comedy. It's a comedy tragedy.
The body of Sharon Tate is make-believe.
That's make-believe.
Make-believe, yeah.
That's make-believe to the people that went in there and did what they did.
Mm-hmm. And who were those people? You know who? But you know who they were.
Sure, I know who they were.
They were with you at the Spawn Ranch. They were part of this thing called, if not the Manson family or the Manson cult, the Manson Ranch. Call it what you will.
So then, what? You dealt the hand down there in L.A. You and that press. You dealt the hand. You put me on Life magazine, had me convicted before I walked in the courtroom. You had what people wanted to buy, and when they wanted to buy it, they didn't give a damn if they had to convict a district attorney. They'd have convicted the whole building to get that dollar bill going there. They had big bucks going there. He made 27 million, 100 billion. I'm bumming $10, $15 from my friend here.
Here's another newspaper account that you can now speak to since you haven't done it before. That on the night following the killings at the house on Cielo Drive in Los Angeles, you accompanied 4 people to a home occupied by Mr. and Mrs. Leo LaBianca.
Yeah.
That you went inside that house and you tied them up and assured them that they were not going to be hurt. That you went back outside and sent Kasabian and Krenwinkel and Watson and Atkins inside the house to kill them. True or false? Did you do that? Chair's getting hot, huh? Did you do that?
Did I kill anyone?
No. Did you go in and tie up the LaBiancas that night? Very simple question.
That night.
August 10th, 1969.
That night. August the 10th.
Why don't you want to talk about it, Charles? Why don't you want to?
Because I'm an outlaw, and I go so far, and then that's all you know.
And if you did,
It's like asking Jesse James.
and if, as others have written and as others have testified and as the media has reported, you did that.
Yeah.
And you sent your friends back in to do the deed. Aren't you a coward?
My friends back in to do the terrible deed.
Doesn't that
The
make you?
wicked deed. Did we have the castle there with the vampires and the Frankenstein and the bugs and lizards dying in the deserts? Did we have the water that's dying and the whales are being killed and the seals are dying?
Here we go again. Lay it off on somebody else. Let's
Well,
point to all the other injustices.
I'm in the world all by myself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on this one you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay, if that's the way you see it for you.
You've never talked about this before, but I'm going to try it one more time. Just pull the cards out. You can see them where I'm
You
finished.
got a pistol on you?
No, sir. They wouldn't let me in here if I had a pistol. You
Yeah.
know that as well as I do, so why even ask the question, okay?
Well, I just thought you might not like what I've done. You want to do something about it.
I don't much care for what you've done.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't. How do you feel
Yeah.
about that? A lot of
Well-
people think you're a monster, Charles. How do you
Yeah,
feel?
they think you're a monster because you reflect this news media on me. Cult leader. I never had long hair before I got busted. I never had a beard before I got busted. I went to shave and the guy said, no, you can't shave. And I said, I need a razor to shave. He said, no, you can't shave. I said, let me get a haircut. He said, no, we don't want you to change your appearance. They said I had a great family and I was the following and leaders and all that. There was no followers and leaders, a bunch of kids out the ranch playing. To me,
Playing at what?
playing and living.
Do you miss women?
Certainly. My goodness. Yeah, damn right. Yeah.
What do you think of women?
Oh, I like them. Yeah, they're nice. They're put together well and everything, and they're soft and spongy. Yeah, they're nice. As long as they keep their mouth shut and do what they're supposed to do.
Why do you say that?
Because that's what a woman's supposed to do.
Keep her mouth shut and do what she's supposed to do?
Sure.
And besides the son that you had in your marriage, you've got, what, 4 other children somewhere?
I don't think I've been responsible for as much as you people want to lay on me.
All right, somewhere out there, there's at least one son that we know of that's your child, who's probably about 25 or 26 years old. You talk to that kid. What are you going to say to him?
You gotta catch it on your own, boy. Train's hard, the road's rough.
And that's it.
That's all I knew. That's all anyone ever told me.
All right.
And you want to hear something?
Yeah?
He'll do it better than me.
Do what?
Whatever he does, he'll do it a little better. Kids do, don't they?
Sometimes.
Yeah, that's what makes them such a gas. They always seem to get through.
How were you in school? I hear that you weren't too good, but maybe I heard wrong.
Depends on which school. I did very well in reform school.
Yeah.
I did good in every place that I was ever told to do good in. I've been an outlaw ever since I was born. I went to reform school when I was about 10, and I learned to box and cry, and I learned to do all the things that you do in reform school. Then I went to, I escaped there a bunch of times, and I went to prison, and I learned everything that you do in prison. And I talked to all the guys and asked them everything they knew, and they told me all the things they knew. And then I went to the end of it, and then the old man would be ready to die, and he'd say, well, son, sincerity is the best gimmick, remember that. And I said, all right, be sincere, that'll win it. He said, that's it. Sincerity and honesty, he said, it'll do it. It'll trick them every time. I said, well, sincere and honesty, I never tried that. I tried everything else, but maybe I'll try sincere and honesty.
The rest of your life in prison.
Well, we're all our own prisons. We each are our own wardens, and we do our own times. We used to get stuck in our own little trips, and we kind of judge ourselves the way we do. You know, I can't judge nobody else. The best thing I can do is try to judge myself and live with that.
Let's assume that one day you were paroled. Let's just
Paroled?
Well, let's just make believe. Do you ever think you will be?
Yeah, do I ever think I will be? Well, I've never been paroled before. I went up to the board and they said I was incorrigible. And not only was I incorrigible, but that I'd never grow up. And I kind of agreed with them.
If you got out tomorrow, do you have any scores to settle on the outside?
Scores? Do I have any scores out there? And we're making believe, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I'll tell you, buddy. Well, I don't rightly know. I'm stupid to the point where I'm not really sure.
Believe it or not, there are a lot of people on the outside that think about the possibility of you coming out of here, and they're genuinely scared of you.
Oh boy, I might just make dust. Everything terrible. One little guy, terrible. Ooh, boy, how insecure are we as human beings? Put all our fear on one little guy and afraid to let him out. He might break all the toys.
Why do you say little guy?
Because I'm not the guy you trying to make out of me. That's not me. I don't know what my way is. Everybody keeps telling me I got all these things. I read the other day where I had magical powers, and I told everybody in the chapel, I said, zap, 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 zap. I said, where's my magical powers? Well, you can't believe what you read in the press. I can get no magical powers, mystical trips, and all that kind of crap. Yeah, it's kind of silly. Yeah, I'm getting witches and devils, and one guy come up and said, I heard you said you were Jesus. I said, no, man, I ain't said that. He said, I'm glad. He said, I'm damn glad. I said, why? He said, I know you ain't him. I said, how do you know? He said, because I am. I said, okay. But I mean, you know, I've been in the nut ward for 10 years, so you can't expect me to rationally take this thing serious.
A couple of sentences, how would you describe it?
I didn't have a childhood. I went to reform school in '43, and I've been fighting ever since.
Tell me how you would describe how bad it was for you in these reform schools.
A child don't know what bad is.
Well, he says in the book that you were raped, that you were beaten constantly.
Come on, man.
That's not true.
That's what he would like to believe. But
So
there ain't nobody can do that. Well, I've never sold out. They've never beat me. I haven't been beaten.
Tell me about your terrible childhood.
The child doesn't know what terrible is.
You don't want to talk about it, I tell you.
I'm telling you, a child doesn't know what terrible is.
Give me a little
terrible, man?
Give me a little description of it.
What is terrible? You know, terrible. What does that mean, terrible?
How do you spend your days now, since you're not allowed to play music? How do you spend your time in jail?
Sitting.
Just sitting? At one point I read somewhere that you were making dolls. Is that true?
I make little dolls, yeah.
Tell me about that.
I just started taking string and making little dolls and bugs and spiders and little, it's a new art form. I created a new art form.
Anything else like that? Any other things that you do in jail?
Yeah, I run an underworld.
You run an underworld in jail. Tell me about that.
You don't see it? I fly birds. I look out for wildlife. I'm trying to redeem my trees. I have an organization called ATWA rolling now, trying to redeem life on the planet Earth from the people that destroy it.
What you were talking about being God's messenger. Tell me that again.
Life is God. All life. Bugs, birds, trees, everything that's alive is God. The sun is God. But we've got God over here on a cross. We've got a dying man over here on a cross, and we're all kneeling down hoping that if we die, there's a better place somewhere else. Well, you got a whole bunch of people hoping that they die creates a hell of a big energy. And I call it a death wish. It's mother's death wish. It's what everybody's going towards dying, like the Vietnam War when they wanted to blow the world up.
And what have you got to do with God once again?
I'm just a messenger of the truth.
God's messenger?
Life's messenger. We use the word God. The God hooks all the other words up. I'm the Pope. I'm 10 times the Pope. I'm 50 times the Pope. But I'm the Pope in the hills and in the mountains. I'm already out of here. This enclosure here, I'm out of here. My body is stuck here, but my thought is already gone.
Are you ever in contact with your mother, your biological mother?
I am my mother.
I've heard that you get a lot of letters and have in the past gotten a lot of visits from kids, just kids that you don't know. Is that true?
I am kids.
Have you gotten these kinds of visits and letters from kids that you don't know?
Sure.
Why do you think these kids write you?
Because I am those kids.
What is it about you that they...
I am a child. I never grew up. I never lived in your society. I never went to school. I never had a mother and father. I raised myself up.
What do you think it is about you that makes people want to be a part of whatever it is you're a part of?
I'm brand new. Everything I do is always brand new. I'm on the premise of reality. I walk a real road. I'm a real person inside. I'm not a phony. I don't put on no airs. I say what I think. You see what I'm saying?
What would you do if you got out of prison on parole?
On parole, I don't know whether I would accept a parole. Because if I accept a parole, then I have to accept a whole bunch of little people play act importance with my life. I'm tired of other people running my life.
Are you saying that you don't want to accept guilt?
Guilt? What the hell is that? I can do anything I want, woman.
What would you do if you got out of prison?
I'm out of prison. I get out every day. I get out in these guys every day. I get out, I'm everywhere. I know you're going to lock everywhere up. I'm everywhere, man. I'm all things. How you gonna lock that up?
Why did you do so many things to get yourself thrown in jail? You seemed to like it when you were out, according to what I read.
Well, because I'm stupid. I really am stupid. I'm smart in some things, but other things I'm dumb in, you know. Probably if you notice, people that tell the truth generally act like they're kind of retarded. Mentally retarded people I can communicate with real good. And decent dumb people, man, we talk like crazy, you know. In other words, I'm all right with those. And kids I'm okay with. But when you get grown up, then there's a lot of problems. I don't get along too good with grown-ups. And they get me in trouble. People get me in trouble because I don't have the mental capacity to adjust to the outside. And when I get out there, I'm like a little kid. I'm like a little baby.
So you're telling me all these people think that you hate the blacks and you hate the Jews and you kill people and all you're really trying to do is stop pollution?
All the time it's been the same thing. Whatever people put on me is what they're trying to play themselves on their level.
Tell me once again, I didn't quite get it, why the American Nazi Party sign on your forehead?
You can't say, well, the Jews are the chosen children of God, and these Germans are no good because their forefathers fought. No. The Germans are no worse than the Jews, and the blacks are no worse than the Mexicans, and the Mexicans are no worse than the Filipinos, and the Filipinos are no worse than the Chinese. So how do you reach a one with that whole circle? How do you reach a one with that whole circle? How do you have peace on this earth? You can't have peace on this earth unless you let Second World War die. I'm in the cell with a guy named Millman, Jerry Millman, and he's got pictures of Hitler and Japanese and things all that. I said, boy, Hitler must have been a hell of a guy. He said, Hitler was terrible. I hate him. I said, why do you hate him? He said, I'm a Jew. I said, well, why do you enshrine this guy? Is he your daddy? And he looked up to his mother's fear, and his mother's fear was Hitler. Hitler was like his father figure. He loved Hitler, but he hated Hitler. He needed Hitler to hold him up, because Hitler was holding his hate up, because without his hate, he didn't exist. He didn't have no reason to live unless he had some hate. He didn't have any reason to buy and sell unless the money held him up. If you took the money away from him, you took the hate away from him, he'd be gone. So how do you communicate to a whole group of people? You stand up and you take the worst fear symbol there is and say, there, now I've got your fear. Now I've got your fear. And your fear is your power, and your power is your control. I'm your king of this whole planet. I'm going to rule this whole world through Atwa. I want my trees put back. I want my water clean. I want my atmosphere cleaned up. What you do beyond that, I don't care what church you go to or what race you are, what color you are, what all that nickel and dime personal important trash head stuff. I don't care about that. All I care about is my air, my water, my trees, and my wildlife. And you humans, if you don't get in line with that, goodbye. Together, man.
Here, let me
stop that until we get our heads together.
Here, let me ask you this. Let me ask
Here's some stuff that I've written down that I want to forward to you, then we can reflect it back.
Okay, sure.
You dig what I'm saying? Sure. Crime factories are buying and selling crime.
What is a crime factory?
A crime factory is this fucking thing here. This is a crime. This is where we create our crime. This is a crime factory for jobs and profit. We can stop the crime.
How?
By stop buying and selling it. If the long as we're selling it, it's going to be there.
What about, let me ask you this question. How do you stay in touch with the world outside the prison to know?
I'm thinking the world outside the prison. The judge represents me. I stand in the courtroom. The judge represents me. The lawyer represents me. The attorney general represents me. They represent me. The whole thing represents me.
Why are there 20,000 murders a year now?
Because you're selling it. You're buying it and selling it.
Be a little more specific.
Well, when you take it, you put up an image, you put this image up, and you say, here, kids, don't be like that. Don't take them red pills, kids. They didn't know there was red pills until you said, no, you can say no. You can say no. You can't say no. I didn't know I could say yes. In other words, you're projecting the thought.
That's not a bad point.
You're projecting the thought. When the DA jumps up and says, hey, this guy did so and so and so forth, and he's booby-bob, and that's what that makes me into. That's not what I am, man. That's not me.
That's what these fucking ignorant assholes need me to be. He needs me to be violent because he needs his ass kicked. He's begging somebody to kill him. So he needs me to be a killer because he wants to die and go to heaven and be with Jesus. Got nothing to do with me. I don't respond to it. I just shine it on, put it on another world, man. It doesn't exist. In the planet I live on.
What planet is that?
The one that I live on.
Do you think that this world, San Quentin, has any relation to the world outside?
This world, San Quentin, is where all the children of God are. This is where you keep all your children that you don't want. The ones that you get to carry the heavy load.
You know what you're going to have thing going on with that.
I just talk natural on the loud
Charlie,
anyway, man.
it's just me and
I
you.
told you, see, nothing I do is right, man.
It's all right.
Unless I stay in a cell. They crowd me and I got this little space. My life is bigger than this little space. I live in the desert. I live in the mountains, man. I'm big. My mind is big. But everybody's trying to crowd me down and push me down and make me into all these little things that they need me to be. And that's not me at all, man. That's not me. I killed nobody. I broke no law.
You broke no law?
I broke no law. I didn't even get to put on a defense, man.
But Charlie, you were in prison half your life.
So what?
Why?
I didn't have no parents. When you don't have any parents and you got nobody, there's no place that will take you off the street and throw you somewhere. I've been in here since I was 9 years old.
I know.
Yeah, because I didn't have any parents.
But then why did you start taking other people's property? Why did you start messing with other people's things?
I reflect the will of God, son. You can have anything I got.
What God is that, Charlie?
Yeah, the will of God. Whatever you want to call it, that up, down, down. Call it Jesus, call it Muhammad, call it Boogie Bots, call it Buddha, call it nuclear mind, call it blow the world up, call it your heart, call it whatever you want to call it. It's still music to me. It's there. It's the will of life.
Why are 20,000 Americans being killed every year, Charlie?
Because the district attorneys are selling your blood, man.
I don't understand that.
The way you go to court, they need a conviction. They need criminals, man. They need people to lock up in cages. If they didn't have people to lock up in cages, man, they wouldn't be able to sell more fear to the public. And they sell more fear to the public, and all them old women, they love to buy that fear. They just lay back and watch that fear and read them detective magazines.
What makes the knife, the shooter shoot?
Society, the reflections of the child.
But what about the responsibility of the person who's doing it?
What person is doing it?
Susan Atkins?
Susan Atkins is only doing what the society raised her up to do.
Wasn't she only doing what you raised her up to do?
No, come on. You set a baby in the cradle and you go, he's just no more, he's no more younger or older than I am. He's just a baby in the cradle. You tell him, baby, won't you light my fire? Baby, won't you light my fire? And then the kid grows up and what's he start doing? He starts lighting fire. You say, no good kid, firebug. And throw him in reform school. And then you come up and tell him, go out there doing them burglaries. You're no good. Get up against that wall and shine a light, scare him, handle him up against the wall and shake him down and say, we know you're out here doing these burglaries. And then these guys are practicing all this macho John Wayne trip, you dig? And then the kid goes, woo-hoo, and he runs off and does whatever they're programming to do. See, there's a reverse side of everything, too. There's a positive and a negative. You come over like that, I was listening to that.
Is there any positive side to Charlie Manson?
Positive what? Oh, come on, man. You didn't complete the other thought. Positive to Charlie Manson. I'm both, negative and positive.
Are you good and evil?
I'm everything.
You're evil?
I'm everything, man.
Tell me about the evil.
I'm as whatever I have to be to survive.
Would you do anything to survive?
Well, what? I'm a human being.
Do all human beings do anything to survive?
Survival takes precedent over programming. You get to the point of survival and your programming goes and it's gone.
How's your programming, Charlie?
I get nothing in my head. I quit thinking in 1952.
What'd you put that on your forehead next Wednesday?
Because we're all locked in the Second World War. And I can't get free until we unlock the Second World War. I've been in jail since 1943.
What year were you born?
34.
9 years old?
Yeah.
What was the first bus for?
The first place?
The first bus.
My mother got out of jail. My mother got out of the joint and put me in with the monks. In with the Catholic monks, the brother monks. They're in Terre Haute, Indiana.
Yeah? They treat you bad?
No, they treated me like they treat all the other kids. But I seen them as a bunch of old women. So I ran off from there. I escaped out of the hood. got out of that hood and went to Chicago, got in the juvenile hall. Look here.
Tell me.
What?
Tell me, what do you want?
There's some other things I wanted to relate to you, man.
Can I ask you some questions about your life, and then you can tell me anything you want to?
My life is not important, man.
I want to know about your life here.
My life here is just sitting in a cell.
How you treated here?
I'm treated here differently on different levels. The first level is pretty good. The younger men they got a lot of respect. The fat ones and the ones that hide around the corner, they're sloppy and they lie and they're incompetent. But there's a lot of good ones. It's like any other place, man. There's good and there's bad.
You seem to abuse the correction officers, though.
I do. I get off on them something terrible, and they get off on me something terrible. I've had my teeth knocked out.
But don't you make your life miserable by being that humble?
Man, I don't know what misery is. What the hell ever misery? That's weakness. I ain't got no misery in me.
Got any friends
live in
here?
Paradise, man.
Got any friends?
Everybody's my friend. I got no enemies. I got no enemies that I know of.
Oh, didn't someone try to kill you a couple of years ago?
Huh?
What do you mean, not alive?
I don't think I've got any alive.
What happened?
Not that I know of.
What happened to them?
I don't know whatever happens to them. They're not in harmony with themselves, man.
So they weren't in harmony with themselves?
I'm the man in the mirror, guy.
I know, man.
You know, if you like me, I like you. If you don't like me, I don't like you. You swing at me, I'll swing back. You dig? You cut at me, I'll cut you. You know, whatever you point to me, I'll give back to you.
But it's more than that, though, isn't it, Charlie?
Well, sure, I'm in harmony with God. That's just a word. We don't, you know, we use the word God.
Or the devil.
Oh, the devil, yeah. You could use the word devil or demons or whatever you want to call it.
Mostly the devil in your world, eh, Charlie?
Well, okay, I'll play. There's no game I can't play. There's no game I haven't played.
You are the devil here.
Okay, I'll be the devil then.
You like that?
No, I don't like or dislike nothing. I see everything as it is. I like it when I come.
You do a lot of that
I
here?
get my nuts off, and then
do a lot of that
it's okay. You know. Other than that, I'm just here.
You got a lot of that going on? What's
got-
going on in your life here, Charlie?
What?
What's going on in your life here?
I told you.
Tell the people, what's your world like? Tell me what your day is like here.
I don't have a day. I just live in one day. I go out in the desert and I walk around. I got some power wagons out there.
You leave your body, you go walk?
Oh yeah. I'm cutting the water off for L.A.
Why are you doing that?
because
You don't like L.A.?
they've been lying. See, here's the thing, New York.
What's that?
It's all right. I can understand the game, and I can't blame you for doing what I would do. And I'm most done. You know, I've done just about everything.
I heard that.
So I got no judgments. You dig what I'm saying? But when you get to stepping over on my toes and breaking my legs, you dig what I'm saying? I say, okay, you broke a couple of my legs.
You like this street talk, Charlie. I know that. You like this street stuff.
I am the
When's the
street.
last time you talked to a
I
street
am
guy?
the street, man.
No,
Can't you understand that?
I'm the street. Charlie.
I know you are.
I'm a
I took you 3 times before we went through the thing, man.
You can't say, what was that after?
As soon as they took the handcuffs off, I had everybody in here.
With what?
Implied agreement.
Charlie,
Maybe the master of
Charlie, you tell me.
Maybe the
Help me
master.
understand something.
Maybe the
Help me
master.
understand something, Charlie. Why do people murder? Why did those girls murder for you? Why did Tex
They didn't murder for
you?
me.
You told them to.
No. Come back, DA. Yes, they did what they did. They're responsible for their own actions. I'm responsible for my actions.
Ever kill anybody?
I've come off with clothes a few times.
Come on, didn't you, Charlie?
What do you mean, come on, didn't you, man? I ain't lying to you. If you think I'm lying to you, you're wasting my time and your time.
Okay, let's not lie. Let's be
There's
clear.
no reason
Let's
to.
be straight.
There's no reason
What
to.
are you guilty of then?
I'm guilty of, what am I guilty of? I'm guilty of thinking that I had rights in a courtroom. That's what I'm guilty of thinking. When my fathers died in all them other wars, I thought, man, I just stand in the courtroom and tell the judge it'd be all over 15, 20 minutes. I'm busy. I got some appointments. And it started making money. And when it started making money, whoa, money takes precedence. They're going to put me down on the ground for the money. As long as they make the money, they don't care who did it. Who did it's not important. And if I had done it, it'd be worse than if I hadn't. Okay, consider.
I don't understand.
Yeah, well, consider. I tell you like this. Yeah, I chopped up 9 hogs, and I'm going to chop up some more, you motherfuckers. I'm going to kill you as many as I can. I'm going to pile you up to the sky. I figured about 50 million. If I could get about 50 million of you, I might be able to save my trees and my air and my water and my wildlife.
You want to kill 50 million people?
Well, that's just a drop in the bucket to what's really coming. Yeah, that's just a drop in the bucket to what's really coming.
Charlie, how do you feel about the fact that everybody else... Oh, wait. Yeah, reload. You're doing great.
Now you fixing to shoot me with that thing?
No way, he's got a
You
long
in a conspiracy with that? You know what he's got in that camera?
But you know something? That's a great novel.
Yeah.
I always said that the news crew would make a great hit
If you
team.
take it, you know you won't live to get out of here with it.
Yeah, walk around.
If we can walk around and
Anything you want.
make a... I know you want this to be a success.
Yeah. What do you got there?
Real issues, what we were taught as opposed to people forget the difference between war.
Tell me about the 50 million hogs again, Charlie. You want to kill 50 million people to save the
Oh,
tree?
come on. You see what I'm saying? All you're doing is you're looking for blood, you're looking for fear, you're looking to sell death, you're looking to sell...
But you seem to have a peculiar fascination with it.
No. Here's
That seems to be follow you wherever
Let
you
me
go.
give you this line. I'll give you the line of that. I'll give you the line in that thought right now. Since the Europeans came to this country, they have cut all the trees, they have butchered all the lakes, they've destroyed all the creeks, everything's turned into cement, they're tearing all the rainforest down, there'll be no wildlife left on the planet Earth. So if I'm standing out in the middle of the desert and I get out of jail and I see the desert's dying, the bees are dying, the birds can't live, the trees are dying, the smog is killing everything, and I say, wow, where's my life on this planet? Can I survive on this planet Earth? That's what I'm working for. I'm working for my survival on that piece of dirt. It took me 20 years to get out of these damn penitentiaries, to get down on that ground. Now that I'm on that ground, I'm thinking about surviving on that ground. I don't care about your society. The public's a bunch of assholes.
What do
When
you
it
care
comes
about?
down to it, they're for sale. They're bought.
What do you care about, Charlie?
I care about life.
But you care
All
about life,
life.
but you'll kill 50 million people?
Oh, no, I didn't say I would kill anything. I'm reaping the heads in thought. I'm Jesus Christ. Whether you want to accept it or not, I don't care. I got the thought. I'm reaping it in thought. In thought. It's a thought. You see what I'm saying? In other words, the whole world is in a thought. The Pope sits in a thought. The handball's in a thought. Everything is in a thought. And I am in the thought of peace on earth.
How do you feel about the fact that you're going to spend the rest of your life there?
The rest of my life where?
Right here.
You guys are boy, you've been living 1,000 illusions, man. Rest of your life where?
In prison.
In prison. What prison? You got a prison in your mind? You see what I'm saying? You're in prison, son. You're the one that's in jail because you think there is such a thing as a prison. I'm sitting on a line. The guy comes up, draws a line, and says, "You're in prison." I said, "Oh, I'm in prison?" He puts up a big gate and says, "You can't get out." I said, "Oh, I can't get out?" He says, "Yes." Then they dress up in uniforms and walk them back and forth and have little passes and paperwork and things, and I look at them and they say, "We're keeping you locked up." I said, "Oh, you are?" I didn't have anything else to do anyway. The only thing you got me locked out from is my guitar. And whoever got my guitar, and whoever's taking my guitar, and whoever's keeping my guitar, I swear to God, there'll be nothing left over that. Because I've earned that guitar 2 times up over your head, Chop Chop. And if they don't let me have my rights,
What?
my rights, man,
What will you do?
what would I do? Put the Holy Spirit on them. In your case, it would be the unholy spirit. In other words, you think an unholy, but Abaraxis.
No. You know what I think? I think that you are an evil person.
Right, I'm evil. I'm terrible.
You are,
Oh
Charlie.
yeah, I'm awful. I'm awful.
You're a murdering dog,
Oh,
Charlie.
I'm a terrible dog. I'm a fiend.
You're a mass murdering
A
dog.
mass murdering dog. And where did you get these ideas?
I guess the evidence.
But does it pay you to say that more? I mean, if I paid you to say the other way, would you walk backwards?
I don't walk backwards.
Well, then, you know, it's kind of silly.
I never
man.
walk backwards
It's
from
kind of
evil.
silly. You read a newspaper and you look on TV and then you come and you see me and you want to call me what they told you. And you know that 99% of that newspaper is for money, not the truth. You know that. When they're selling on the UPI and they're making it all over the world, there's a lot of bucks passing hands LA Times. When the district attorney puts the newspaper man right in his office, and then the judge comes back and says, "Where'd you get your source of information?" And he says, "I won't tell." because he was getting it from the district attorney's office to start with. But they'll make it look like he was getting it from my side. Then they'll put the gag orders on me and say I'm incompetent. I knew what happened. I could have defended myself, and I could have walked out of the courtroom. But they didn't want to do that, because Nixon would have lost his thought.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think of the death penalty?
I don't think really that, I think that belongs to God.
Explain.
God gives life, God takes life.
But how come you didn't live your life with that commandment?
I did.
That's not what I heard.
Well, that's what you heard. It's a little difference from what you heard and what is.
So you think the state should not have the right to an eye for an eye?
I didn't say that. There is a dispensation to the life and death.
Tell me.
But Governor Brown lost it. Not Governor Brown, but Governor Brown's daddy lost it. When he used the gas chamber for political purposes, and he gassed 2 or 3 people that never killed anyone, and he knew it. That's why he lost the dispensation of the gas chamber.
Do you feel fortunate that you survived because the law is declared?
There was no doubt in my mind I would survive. I'm in harmony with the truth. I didn't kill anyone. I didn't break the law. Not
Maybe you didn't pull the trigger.
No.
In the Tate cases, do you feel remorse for anything you've done?
Why?
Do you feel remorse for
wait a
anything?
minute. I'll give it to you. Let's look at it this way. A guy comes up to you and he's freaking out and he's going through changes and he says, I'm going crazy. I'm having it. I say, relax, man. Everything's all right. No, my mother, she's doing this. She's happening. I said, everything's cool, baby. Be cool. Maintain. Sit down. Relax. Everything's all right. He said, is? I said, sure, it's all right. Everything's perfect, man. Get in harmony with life and relax. He said, really? He said, I said, yeah. He said, everything's beautiful, isn't it? I said, yes, it is. An hour later, he come back and he said, I killed him. I said, what the fuck you come and tell me for? He said, well, you said everything was okay. You said everything was perfect. You said I couldn't do any wrong. I said, what I meant was maintain, man. In other words, like, I can say something.
Are you telling me that they misunderstood you?
Oh, a lot of people misunderstood.
You're telling me that those women and Watson and the other people that were around you just didn't understand what you were telling them to do?
No. Here's the way that rolls. Here's the way that nickel rolls. It rolls like this. I play music.
Right.
If you had brought the guitar, I could have showed you what kind of music I play.
I heard you sing good. Maybe you'll sing for
So I get out of jail, and these kids come around me.
Yeah.
They say, you're God. You have the voice of God. And I say, there's a whole penitentiary guys like me. You know, I'm nothing. I'm just a messenger. I'm a witness. That's all. I'm just a poop butt that dropped out of the penitentiary. And they seen something in me I didn't see in me.
What they say?
They seen a nice guy. And I'm not a nice guy.
I agree.
But they seen that. So I said, well, as long as they seen the nice guy, I'll reflect the nice guy. I'll be the nice guy to them. So I played as much nice guy as they could deal with. And I held the line of nice guy. And I looked out for everybody, and I gave them places to stay, and I kept all the other not-so-nice guys off of them.
I hear you, so.
You dig what I'm saying?
Yep.
Because I like the kids, because I can identify with the kids, because they didn't have nobody like I didn't have nobody.
Right.
So I kind of identify with that balance, Dick. So they come by, and we sing songs, and we were all singing together, and they say, wow, man, you got a...
Car and a jug of wine and a straight razor if you get too close to me. I don't want to take my time going to work. I got a motorcycle and a sleeping bag and 10 or 15 girls. What the hell I want to go off and go to work for? Work for what? Money? I got all the money in the world. I'm the king, man. I run the underworld, guy. I decide who does what and where they do it at. When am I going to run around and act like I'm some teeny bopper somewhere for somebody else's money? I make the money, man. I roll the nickels. The game is mine. I deal the cards.
before when I again asked him to define his unique charm. What do you think it is about you that makes people want to be a part of whatever it is you're a part of?
I'm brand new. Everything I do is always brand new. I'm on the premise of reality. I walk a real road. I'm a real person inside. I'm not a phony. I don't put on no airs. I say what I think. You see what I'm saying?
Aren't you putting on an air now? Aren't you putting on an act for me?
When you look it back, see if it's an air. See if where you get it. And someone sees it and goes by and they say, hey, how you doing? I say, pretty good. How you be?